Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to this channel, continue to share, comment. If you have any question, you can put it there. You can contact me on my email, then we can have a lot of chat as we go along. Alright, so my name is Patrick Ahimfo, a cybersecurity analyst, investigator, pen tester, and sales executive. And these are the certificates I have. Alright, so on social media, my handles are there: Twitter, LinkedIn, and my email address, which you can use to contact me. If you have any question, you have any inquiry, you can put it there, we'll respond to it. Alright, so today we are going to talk about the date, we are going to talk about the calendar, we are going to talk about the type, we are going to talk about echo, we are going to talk about man. These are all the commands you should know as the learner's beginner, somebody who want to enter into the cybersecurity arena. You need to know this command. So let's continue. All right, so on your virtual machine, we are going to close this terminal and open a new terminal. Now when the new terminal is up, you see here, what we need to know is that we need to know the date of our system. Alright, the date and time of our system we need to know. So if you want to know the date and time of your system that you are running, so on the terminal you can do that by simply executing date, as in date, normal date, you execute. It's going to tell you that today is Saturday, 6th May, and this is the time because we are on EDT, that is the time. So this is the time of our system as of today. So this is the time, because the time here is different from the time here because we are using the EDT. Alright, so this is the date and time of your system. To know that, you have to execute the date command. Alright, now let's talk about the date. Very important. Sometimes you may be working and then your boss may tell you, Charlie, can you help me get last Friday of November 2022? What date was it? So to do that, you can simply use the car, which is simply, you see, November 2022. It says last Friday. You execute. It tells you that the last Friday of November is what? 26. So last Friday of November 2022 was 26. So you can easily get it by using the car, which is the calendar, short form for calendar, then you get it. So this is the calendar. So if you want to know the whole of the year 2024, all the date and the month, you can simply do that by time the car. Then which year? It said 2024. You execute. You are going to get all the dates that will be in 2024. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. You are going to have all. And you know that December 2024, the Christmas day will fall on when you will have it. And that is going to be the first. So that will be around, so your first, so you see, so you have your date, so it will start from here, then you move on. So this is how it's going to be. So you have your date, that for the year 2024. So the last December will fall on Sunday. So it is going to be almost the same. Last year we ended the year in Sunday. You see, that is how it's going to happen 2024. So you're able to get all the dates in the year 2024 by using the car command. That is what is going to happen. So that is what we have to learn and know about the date of your system. You use the date command. To know the calendar, you use the car command so that you can get the calendar that you want to know. Maybe you want to just really know, want maybe June, so you just do your car, and June is 6, and then you do 2023, then you execute. And you know that June, this is the Monday will start, will be first, Tuesday second, Wednesday will be third, all up to 30th, which will be on Thursday. So this is the calendar that we're talking about. Now that we've talked about the calendar, we've talked about the date, now let's look at the type. Let's look at the type. In learners, you see, most of the people who are coming out with the software would like learners to implement them, because learners is an open source. You don't have to buy it, you can download and use it, not like other softwares that you have to, operating system you have to pay. But learners, you can easily download and use. And because of that, a lot of people are contributing to the growth of learners. And so some of the commands are built in. Some of the commands are people who have developed it and given it to learners so that people can use it. So to know that the command you are executing, is it internal or external, that is why you use the type command. So for instance, if you want to know date, even the date that we just did, so let's do date. If you type and the date and execute, it is going to tell you that date is what? USR bin. It means that it is an external. It is some people who develop that software and they've given it to learners to run. So that is why date is. So to know that it is an external, it will tell you that it's USR/bin. That tells you that this is an external command. Some people develop it and they've added it to the distribution. So this is it. All right. To know the type of, say, calendar like we did, so use type calendar. When you command, it says that calendar 2 is what? Is what? External, because it's using the USR, means external users who develop it and they've given it. So date is external, cal is external. Now let's see what can we also do about the CD. So let's type then CD. So we're using command CD. It said this CD command that we are using is what? Is a shell built in. So CD is a built-in command. It is not external people who have developed. No, it was built with the learners. So that is what it's telling us. Now let's do the type for ls that we used. So ls, it says that ls is an aliases for ls. So ls is an alias. So then we will get to the aliases later on. But they tell me that ls is also an alias. You see, some people just sit down and write it up and then they've given us ls. So ls is not the command that's built in. It is not the external command. It's an alias. Somebody sit down and say that, okay, let's do this and that, and we'll get the list. So it wasn't a built-in command. It was an alias. The alias is just, you can say it, maybe your name is Patrick alias. So it is something that you just a funny name that people have given it to it. So it is not external, neither internal, but it's an alias. So ls is an alias command. So now that we've known the date, we've known the calendar, now we've known the type, the important thing to know now is the echo. So when you use the echo command, it is going to print out what you are telling him to do. For instance, if I want to echo maybe Patrick, let me echo John. Yes, let me echo John. All right. So I'm trying to tell the shell to print out John on its own without adding the echo. So I'll execute. You see, John is now up. So I have my John. All right. So in the normal, I cannot print out this John. You see, if I execute John, it is the command that the shell, the kernel doesn't know. So the command is not built in. It's not something that I've added, so they will never know. So, but when you put the echo, you are using the echo to tell the system that, no, I want you to print out John for me on a sheet of paper. Just print it. So just write John for me. So that is what the echo does. So it's going to print out what you tell it to do. So maybe I can do echo John, Patrick, maybe Samuel, and I echo. So he's going to print out what I told him to do. So basically this is what echo does. It's going to print out what you have telling him to do. So that is the echo command. So now that we know the echo, right, let's try and find out the man. You see, in all the command that we've executed the echo, we've executed the type, we've executed the calendar, we've executed the date. So these 4 commands that we've executed, now there are manual to each of them. So the man command is basically the manual. So we want to know the manual of each of the commands that we executed. For instance, let's do man date. So it's going to print out all the manual about date. It says that date print out set the system date and time. So date print or set the system date and time. So you can use the date to either set the date or print out the date of the system. So to do that, so you know the date. It says that we can just use the date and then it is going to tell us the system date and time. We can also use the date to set the system date and time. So this is it. Alright. So these are the flags. So these are the manual of date. These are the manual of the date. So a whole lot. So all the information you need to know when you use the R, what is referring, when you use the S, what is referring to. So date/S, we are going to set the date. When you talk about the U, what is the universal. So this is all that we will need to know. If we want to use the version, we have to use the V. That is going to tell us the version of the date that we are having. So that is what we have. The manual, so the manual of the date, that is it. So the manual of your car, the manual of your television, that is it. So the manual of the date, that is the use the man command to find out. To quit, you press the kill, then you are back. Now let's do the same manual for calendar. So there's the manual for calendar. So it's going to print out all the manual for calendar. So this is all that we know. So we have the manual for all the command that you've been executing. So all the command, all the flags that you need to know, we're going to go through each of them one by one. But for now, you must know that there are manual to each of the command that you are executing. You press kill to execute, to quit. Then we talk about the manual for type. So we've done for date, we've done for calendar. Let's type. So let's do manual for type. Okay, so no manual entry for type. So as at now, there is no manual for type. So there is no manual for type. So it means that manual hasn't got any manual now. But we can use help. You see, we can use help. So let's try help and see if it is going to help us. /H. It says bad option. That means still type. There's no even help for type. So basically that is what it means. Alright, so it means that we don't have manual for type. We don't have help for type. Okay, so basically that is what it means. So alright, so type, we don't have the manual for it. So now let's go to the manual for. Alright, so we talk about date, calendar, type. Let's look at echo. So if there's manual for echo, now execute. Yes, so there's manual for echo. So these are the manual for echo. Alright, so some products have manuals, others don't. So that is it. That is why the type couldn't give us the manual. But echo have a manual, and these are the flags. We can tackle them. Echo -N. Do not output the tailing new line. So when you put the EL, enable interpretation of the backlash space. So these are the manuals that you can learn. So these are the manuals. So these are the manual. You can learn all these manuals. Get time, go through each of them. So these are the manuals that you can learn. These are the manuals that you should know about each of the type that we've done. And so far, that is what we've done so far. We've finished the topic for discussion. We've done the dates. So we've done all the manual that we need to know. We've done it. So we've talked about the date, we talked about the calendar, we talked about the type, we talked about echo, then we talked about man. And so basically that is what we've done so far. And so as we continue, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Let's do more to improve it. Let people get to know this channel so that people can watch it and also learn these courses in our continent so that we can help secure our ecosystem, the digital ecosystem. So please share, subscribe, and let's get the work done for our security. We need to protect all our infrastructure. So please subscribe to the channel, like it, share it, comment. If you have any question, contact me. All right, thank you so much. So we'll meet again.